What's up, pet people? Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we're just going to be doing a quick little video on the 10 common but not common signs and symptoms of your cat being sick. So if you have a cat or just browsing through YouTube and wound up on my channel, please keep watching because you might learn something that in the end will be beneficial to you and your furry little friend. So yeah, keep watching. Jumping right into today's video, as I said, we're going to go down the line. It's going to be 10 signs or symptoms that your cat is sick. Basically, and obviously, if your cat is like sick, vomiting and stuff, you probably shouldn't be watching this video and should instead be calling either the emergency vet or a poison control center if they ate something, or taking it to the vet in general. But if you suspect your cat is sick but not so sure, these are some things that you could look out for, and they might all be happening or one of them might be happening. It just depends on your cat individually and how they are in their personality, because every cat's different, they all react differently, and cats are notorious for trying to hide illnesses and or injuries from people. It's just their nature. So first thing first, the number one sign in my mind out of all of these is the behavioral change. Meaning, if your cat normally is super cuddly and all up on you and with people all the time, and then all of a sudden they are hiding, they're shying away from you, they don't want to be pet, they are, secluding themselves, that is a sign that they're not feeling well and don't want to be interacted with, or that they're just trying to hide their illness from you. So again, if they're like hiding, that's a big sign if they're not normally hiding. However, if your cat normally is kind of skittish and doesn't like being around people, that wouldn't be one of the things that you would look out for. The second thing that you would look out for is a grooming change, meaning if your cat is normally pretty and has wonderful fur with like no dandruff and is shiny, then that's all good. That's cats clean themselves, it's normal hygiene. But if you look at your cat and you notice some of the fur is a little matted in places, or that the fur is a little bit more dull, a little drier looking, that could be signs of A, skin infections, or B, that they're losing motivation to clean themselves due to not feeling well. It's actually a common thing for older cats to not be able to bathe themselves as they used to. There are sprays and stuff you can use to clean them, but if it's like a younger cat and suddenly they aren't taking care of themselves as well as they used to, that could be a big indicator that your cat is not feeling well. Now, the next one is a weight change. Obviously, in humans or any animal, if suddenly the weight is fluctuating and they're gaining a lot of weight or not gaining weight at all, or like losing a lot of weight, that could be indicators that they are sick or having intestinal problems or a thyroid disease or a cancer. It depends on the scenario and what's going on. Like my cat that passed away 2 years ago, she had diabetes, and we didn't know that for the longest time, but she would just eat and eat and eat and eat. And of course, as a kitten, that caused her to gain a lot of weight. And then once she got older and developed diabetes, she started losing weight rapidly even though she was eating. And that's whenever we realized, oh, something's wrong, took her to the vet, turned out she had diabetes. So that's something, you need to look out for in cats as well that's not commonly talked about. So the next thing is stinky breath. And I know not everyone goes around shoving their face in their cat's face, but like if you notice your cat panting and having their tongue out, indoors or outdoors, or their mouth is just like slightly ajar all the time and has a really foul odor coming from it, that could very well indicate gum disease and tooth decay. Also, going to the vet regularly and getting that checked can prevent those things. So that would be one of the more extreme symptoms, but it still is something that you need to look out for anyway, especially in older cats with the tooth decay, teeth falling out, teeth cracking, things like that. So symptom number 5 that is commonly like something you should definitely look out for with cats is change in appetite, and that means eating way too much or eating too little. If your cat has like a normal feeding schedule and then all of a sudden seems hungry all the time, it could just mean your cat's growing, but it could also be an issue with their digestive system, which is also them eating too little, not feeling well and throwing up and things like that. Those are symptoms of digestive tract issues, things going on with their, spleen, spleen, and then just, cancer is a thing you have to look out for in cats, feline leukemia, stuff like that. You need to monitor your cat's eating schedule, which I do anyway, but it's something that definitely a lot of people with cats need to look out for. Anyway, moving on. Number 6 is not something I recommend people with kittens to look out for, because this can happen, but it's like going outside the litter box, meaning your cat who normally has good hygiene and goes in the litter box and has their routine suddenly starts going outside of the litter box, even if it's clean. Like using the bathroom very sporadically, not being able to hold in their, urges to go. That could be symptoms of stomach issues, obviously. And then, purposely taking the time to go outside of the box can show signs of intestinal worms, them trying to be like, hey, something's wrong, and like bringing it to your attention is something I read online once. It's just another thing that you need to look out for. Again, not particularly with kittens, just because kittens who aren't potty trained, they won't go in the litter box sometimes, whereas this is more of like a full-grown adult cat who has this set routine suddenly starts going outside the litter box. That's something you need to watch out for, especially with the older cats. Number 7 is a hard one to track, because cats, it depends on the cat. So number 7 is a sleep pattern change. Maybe your cat normally sleeps all day and then suddenly they aren't sleeping and they're meowing a lot and being really active, or the opposite where they're active all day like my cat and then suddenly they'll start sleeping again like all day. Like you wake them up, they'll eat, and they'll go right back to sleep. Sometimes that can just be like a really big indicator that they're running out of energy, that they're not really wanting to do anything, or they're feeling weak. So that one and the whole hiding thing are two that to me are most important to watch. Number 7. Yeah. Number 8 is voice change. And a voice change means like one day they're meowing a whole lot, or they're regularly meowing a whole lot, and then they just aren't vocal at all. Or the opposite, where they're very quiet, very docile, cats that just sit on your lap, and then suddenly they start meowing all the time. They start, wanting your attention, making these noises all the time. That can be an indicator that they're not feeling well, and they want you to know they're not feeling well if they're making noise, or they're trying to hide it from you if they're not making noise. So voice changes, or with voice changes also, it can just be an indicator that they're getting old and not wanting to put as much effort into making noise as they used to. But that's one of the things that, again, everything I'm saying depends on the cat, but voice changes especially depends on the cat. Same as the whole behavioral pattern, but we've been through that a lot in this video. Number 9, activity change. Kind of goes with behavior change and the sleep pattern change. So activity change, maybe they're active all the time and then suddenly they're not active and just laying there. Like they might be awake, but they're not doing anything. Or the opposite, they normally don't do a whole lot and then suddenly they start all bouncing off the walls all the time, or constantly meowing at you, or constantly wanting your attention. For that, it could be arthritis if they're not moving a whole lot and wanting to lay down. They could be experiencing pain, or an overactive thyroid if they're suddenly bouncing off the walls and trying to, because I don't remember the exact science behind it, but overactive thyroid, one of the things is a sudden increase in activity. Okay guys, so the final indicator that we're going to go over, I left it for last because it's not important, but also it's not something that indicates solely, that solely indicates being sick, and that is stress-induced behavior. Obviously, any of these things could mean your cat is stressed, and they could be stressed from sickness, or they could be stressed because you introduced a new pet, introduced a new family member, moved, loud noises, a whole lot of different things. It could indicate that they're sick. Or it could just indicate they don't like something you've done lately and it's stressing them out. Some things to look for with this are obviously like fur loss, spraying for the young male cats, gnawing on your stuff if they don't normally. Those are just signs that your cat's unhappy with the situation they're in, and it could be, again, because they're sick or because you did something they don't like. So that one isn't really like a specific, oh, if your cat's sick, look for this type of symptom. But anyway, those are the 10 signs and symptoms. I know I kind of went through it really quickly, but this is just kind of a, if you have a cat, these are good things to know to look for type of list. And if you do have a cat and found my channel, please like and subscribe, because I will be having more cat, I don't know why that was hard to say, more cat content coming soon. And then obviously if you like reptiles and somehow wandered onto this cat video, I also have a cat, so those will be some interesting, you know, random content for you sometimes as well. So yeah, just if you like today's video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe. Hopefully you guys learned something, and hopefully you learned some little tidbits to help you know if your furry friend isn't feeling that great. So thank you for watching. Hope to see you guys next time. Bye.